OK, let's talk to Telford MP Shaun Davis, who says the project is a game changer for his constituency. Good morning, Shaun.
Good morning, Claire.
So, firstly then, your reaction to this announcement?
This is wonderful news, and as Rob quite rightly says, it's been going on and been talked about for a very long time, but the government has backed this scheme with money, and we can get on with it. It's a game changer for residents, anybody who moves across the Midlands or the North, but also, as importantly, it's a game changer for businesses. When I speak to businesses across Telford, they tell me that connectivity to the north of England and the rest of the Midlands is one of their top two considerations, and this really is a game changer. It'll allow businesses to grow and stay and come to Telford.
I understand it's going to generate around £600 million in economic growth. How's it going to do that?
Well, because businesses will want to take the advantage of this by expanding jobs and creating new jobs, but also just the cost savings that it will have to the economy. Haulage companies and businesses that rely on them are telling me already that this will reduce costs, which will help businesses grow, but also help consumers too. And also, if you just think about how much cars are on these local roads, clogging up, waiting often. I don't know if you've done it. I certainly have many times. You're there, 25, 30 minutes plus at standstill. All those things have a cost to the economy. And this is what's fantastic about this particular scheme, that over a relatively short period of time, it pays for itself through this economic growth and development.
I was going to say that because the government are funding it, 200 million. I was going to say, is it worth it? So you'd obviously say absolutely.
Well, absolutely. I think £200 million or thereabouts might be slightly more with today's costs and prices, but certainly if you're generating £600 million of economic development, you can see very quickly how this will pay for itself over the short to medium term. This road will be there for hundreds of years. And also, as Telford celebrates its approaching its 60th year as a new town, this was always the plan. And Ken Clarke, the then government minister, authorised the M54 to come to Telford with the plan going south, and the plan was always to have this missing road put in. It's taken us long to get it. I'm delighted actually that the government has been able to back this plan and listen to the council and all the councils on the route, as well as a cross-party delegation of MPs too.
What's the timeline of the project? Have we any idea?
So this is a package of support that's been of investment that's been announced today. The next step will be to commission a contractor to do the work. But what I'm delighted to say, because this has been in the pipeline for so long and just waiting for that government investment, a lot of that work has been done. There'll be a consultation around the very specific route that it will take, because clearly they'll want to consult those communities on that route. But there's no reason why we can't get on with this quickly and allow this really vital road, not just to Telford, although it is important to Telford, to wider Shropshire, but also the West Midlands as a whole.
It's been on hold for a while. What was the key decision for it to happen now?
Well, I think this is because, I don't want to be partisan too much, but the previous government just did not back it and did not support it. They spoke warmly about it, but never put the money where their mouth was. And what we've been able to do is the new government has been very clear that they want to use public money to unlock economic growth. And for me, as I said to the Secretary of State for Transport and the Minister for Roads when I met them repeatedly on this just talks for itself. The economic development and opportunity that this does is remarkable, and it allows the West Midlands and Telford and wider Shropshire to grow and to create jobs. And you've already heard from a haulage company in Telford. I've been speaking to other businesses in Telford who say the same, that this is a game changer for them.
OK, now that's the good news. The bad news is about the rail link. Last week we heard the plans for a new direct rail service linking Shropshire and London. That's been turned down because of problems at Euston and the congestion there. But I understand you've met with the regulator already. Is that right?
Yeah, Claire, it was. From road to rail, from happiness to misery, really. I spoke to the Office Road and Rail yesterday, called an urgent meeting with them to discuss this. Ultimately, what we've got is a situation where the system is just not working effectively. There is no, what they say is there's no capacity on the road on the train from south of Rugby into Euston, and that is because Avanti are poor performing. There are some slots on the timetable that could be used, but because Avanti are poor performing, those empty slots are often used by delayed trains, and until that's sorted, the Office for Rail and Road are concerned about the impact. That said, we had a very good conversation about how the government's changes to nationalising railways and ending these private contracts like Avanti will open up opportunities, but that is not in the short term. That is in the kind of middle to end of this particular decade. That said, I'm keen to be working with other MPs across Shropshire and on that route to see what more we can do. And my team and I are meeting with the company behind the rail bid later on today to talk about how we can drive this forward. It is so important, but so is what is also important is some basic trains that perform well between Telford and Wolverhampton and Telford and Birmingham, and of course that line up to Shrewsbury. At the moment, we've got very much the end of the line mentality, I think, and we need to make sure that we're challenging that and changing that.
I spoke to the Labour MP Julie Buckley last week. She mentioned the Avanti issues as well, and that their trains are quite often late. So, I mean, they're sort of the thorn in the side here. Do they need sorting out?
We need to hold them to account. Their contract will come to an end towards the end of this decade, and the government's committed to terminate that contract when it comes to an end. It will not be renewed, and that will then move to the Great British Railway, which is effectively the nationalisation of of the trains as the government has set out. But I absolutely appreciate that that's a long way off. And so we're looking at solutions. The Office for Road and Rail, and I met them yesterday, are keen to do that with us, with the Department for Transport, and with the Shropshire and Wrexham train company that want to do this for all the right reasons. There might have to be some compromise on the way in terms of where the stops are and what station it eventually goes into. But we need to do that work, and we'll do that work together. But also, what I'm also really focused on is looking at ways in which we can improve transport connections to Wolverhampton and the direct trains that are going to go from Wolverhampton or from Birmingham and so forth. Because I know, Claire, like you, I use those trains frequently, and they just are shockingly appalling.
Oh, God, they really are. It's bonkers. And then you're at Wolverhampton and trains are delayed and trains are late and then you miss your connection. It's,
And what I hear, Claire, and I'm sure you're the same, I hear from businesses, residents from, Telford, also out of Shropshire, who then effectively, because they haven't got any confidence in the train line, they hop in their car to Stafford or to Wolverhampton. But that makes our job harder in a sense, because when we talk to the railway companies, they go, well, there isn't the demand to service it. And we go, well, there is the demand, there's just not people haven't got the confidence to use it, absolutely.
It's a bit like the buses, the whole same thing with the buses. Nightmare. Shaun, good to talk to you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you very much.